Good morning, guys. Today we're going to be doing the Epic of Gilgamesh. It's not a massive assignment. I'm just going to talk for a few minutes about this story, and then you're going to watch two videos. The videos won't play through here, so I'm going to put both video links. It's part one and part two. I think together it's probably like 15 minutes, so it's not very long, and then you're going to have two questions you have to answer, which I'll show you the Google Doc here in a minute. All right, so the Epic of Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh, so yesterday we talked about Mesopotamia, right, and the Sumerians. So this is a Sumerian / Babylonian story. The interesting thing about this is it's written 1,500 years before Homer's stories. So if you know Homer, he wrote the Odyssey and the Iliad, which we'll talk about that when we get to it. So it is considered the oldest piece of world literature. Okay. And Gilgamesh, he's this semi-mythic king of Uruk, and we'll talk about the other characters. But they say that it's estimated to have been written. Okay, so before it was written down, it was an oral story. So it was written between 2150 to about 1400 BCE, so a long time ago. So here we go. All right. So I already said oldest surviving story. It's written in cuneiform, so that wedge-shaped, which I'll show you a picture of it here in a minute. It's going to influence many storytellers after the fact. The universal human themes that hold their relevance. So we're going to talk about some of the themes and the importance of the epic poetry storytelling as a format. We're going to see like the Odyssey and the Odyssey and the Iliad. These are epic poems. Dante's Inferno is an epic poem. So this is going to become kind of common. So I already told you one of the characters is the king, right? Gilgamesh. Enkidu, he represents nature, right? That's why here he's kind of like a bull. So he's going to represent nature. The story takes place and happens in the Fertile Crescent, right? One of the first major theme is this idea of nature. So Enkidu versus civilization or man, Gilgamesh. And they're going to be kind of battling one another. So important themes. It's this idea of death and mortality. What happens when we die? What do we leave behind? We know that the king wants to be immortal. He doesn't want to die. He wants to kind of live on forever. And so it's his battle with that. There's the abuse of power dynamic versus the individuality. And then, of course, you have the friendship that develops between the two. A fear of being forgotten once you're gone. So this idea of legacy and what are you going to leave behind, and are you going to be remembered? That's a very important kind of theme that we're going to see in several of these stories that pop up. And of course, it's about humanity, right? And how humanity evolves and it changes. And in a sense, you have to kind of accept certain things, if you're going to survive or persevere. And then there's this idea of hubris, of having too much pride or not enough pride. Okay. And then, of course, it's going to be dealing with personal loss and mourning, right? Personal loss and mourning. So here's what it looks like. And I know you can barely see this, right? But there's big chunks. And I think it was 12 tablets, 12 tablets that they found in all. And they've pieced it together. So we've got a pretty good understanding of the story. And if you research the Epic of Gilgamesh, you can find a simple version where you can actually read the story. So here's Enkidu, right, and Gilgamesh, and they're kind of battling each other. So here's the video. Here's what's going to look. This is what it looks like. But I'll put the links inside the Google Classroom. So there's part one, and there's part two. Okay. And there may even be a couple more videos. So there might be a part 3 and 4, but I just want you to watch 1 and 2. So that's it for the presentation. Let me show you the Google Doc. Here's the Prezi link, right? So you might be able to just get to the videos through here if you open up this presentation. But it says, after watching the 2 videos on the Epic of Gilgamesh, what are your thoughts on the oldest piece of world literature? And what did you find interesting about the story? Okay, so that's all I have for you today. Please make sure you're catching up. I'm going to start putting the grades in. So have a great day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.